Success isn't a stroke of luck. It's not reserved for a select few who stumble upon the right opportunities. It's a force you can intentionally draw into your life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, these are magnets. The question is, are you attracting what you want or what you fear? When you understand how to use the law of attraction effectively, success stops being a distant dream and starts becoming your reality. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess, and everything you experience in the outer world is a reflection of what's happening within. Success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who naturally draws it in. The world responds not to your desires alone, but to the energy, thoughts, and emotions you radiate every single day. When your inner world is misaligned, filled with doubt, fear, insecurity, or conflicting beliefs, life mirrors that back through missed opportunities, setbacks, and stagnation. But when your inner world is clear, focused, and vibrating with confidence and certainty, everything begins to align with that frequency. People notice you differently. Circumstances unfold in your favor. Solutions seem to appear out of nowhere. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. Think about the times when you woke up feeling on top of the world, filled with clarity and purpose. Your day flowed differently. Traffic didn't bother you. Conversations went smoother. Challenges felt manageable. That wasn't because the world suddenly became easier. It was because your internal state shifted and reality mirrored that shift. This is the foundation of attracting success. You must master your inner world before the outer world can follow. The first step is awareness. Most people live their lives on autopilot, unaware of the stories they tell themselves. They carry subconscious beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I'm too late, I don't deserve great things. These thoughts play in the background like an old soundtrack, quietly shaping their reality without them realizing it. If you want to attract success, you must bring those patterns into the light and confront them. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe about myself, about success, about my potential? Every limiting belief you carry acts like static on your frequency, interfering with the signal you're sending out. Once you become aware of those internal narratives, you can begin to rewrite them. This isn't about sugarcoating or pretending problems don't exist. It's about consciously choosing beliefs that support the life you want to create. If the old story was, I always fail, the new story becomes, I'm constantly learning and growing. If the old story is success, is for other people, the new story becomes, I'm fully capable of achieving extraordinary things. The moment you change the script, your emotions shift, your actions change, your presence transforms. Your emotions are like a compass that tells you what frequency you're tuned into. When you feel fear, doubt, or frustration, that's a sign you're out of alignment with your vision. When you feel excitement, confidence, or gratitude, you're in tune. The key is to deliberately generate the emotional states that align with your desired reality. One powerful way to do this is through visualization. Close your eyes and imagine the life you want in vivid detail. See yourself living it. Hear the sounds, feel the emotions, smell the environment. Immerse yourself fully. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. When you practice this regularly, your brain starts to accept this vision as reality. It begins to rewire itself to match that frequency. Another powerful element is language. The words you use shape your reality more than you might think. Every time you say, I can't, I'm not ready, or I don't know how, you're reinforcing limitation. But when you speak with certainty, I will, I am becoming, I can figure this out, you begin to command your subconscious mind to align with that truth. Your language is like programming code. If you want to attract success, you must start speaking success into existence. Energy plays a crucial role as well. Every thought carries a frequency, and the universe responds to frequency, not words. You can say affirmations all day long, but if your underlying energy is one of doubt or desperation, that's what you'll attract. Real change happens when your thoughts, emotions, and energy are in harmony. Imagine tuning a radio to a specific station. If the frequency is off, you hear static. When you tune in precisely, the signal comes through clearly. That's what happens when you align your inner world. You tune into the frequency of success, and the static disappears. One of the biggest obstacles to mastering your inner world is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. Fear is a powerful force that can keep you stuck in cycles of self-sabotage. But fear is also an illusion, an emotional response to imagined scenarios. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to recognize it for what it is and choose not to let it dictate your actions. When you face fear with awareness, its power diminishes. You begin to operate from a place of strength rather than avoidance. Another critical factor is consistency. It's easy to feel motivated for a day or two, but true transformation happens through daily practice. You must train your mind like a muscle. Just as physical fitness requires consistent workouts, mental alignment requires consistent mental conditioning. This means daily visualization, daily gratitude, daily self-awareness, and daily intentional thought. Over time, this becomes second nature. Your default state shifts from doubt to confidence, from confusion to clarity, from fear to power. You also need to surround yourself with environments that support this inner transformation. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, whether through people, media, or environments, it will be challenging to maintain a high frequency. Your surroundings influence your state more than you realize. Choose to be around people who uplift you, challenge you, and believe in your potential. Immerse yourself in environments that inspire growth. One often overlooked aspect of mastering the inner world is self-image. The way you see yourself determines what you allow yourself to experience. If you see yourself as average, you will attract average results. If you see yourself as powerful, capable, and deserving, you will attract opportunities that match that image. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You must hold a vision of yourself that matches the life you want to live. Every time you act in accordance with that higher self-image, you reinforce it. Doubt will still creep in from time to time. That's natural. The difference between those who attract success and those who don't is how they respond to doubt. Some allow it to consume them, others acknowledge it and then choose a higher thought. They don't let temporary emotions dictate long-term outcomes. They remind themselves of their vision, realign their energy, and keep moving forward. It's also essential to recognize that mastering your inner world is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. Your goals will evolve, your circumstances will change, and new challenges will arise. But if you've built the habit of inner alignment, you can navigate these changes with grace. You'll be able to shift your frequency quickly whenever you fall out of tune. The beauty of this process is that once you get into alignment, you don't have to chase success desperately anymore. It starts flowing to you naturally. People are drawn to your energy. Ideas come effortlessly. The right doors open. It may look like luck to outsiders, but you'll know it's the result of deliberate inner work. Ultimately, mastering your inner world means becoming the kind of person who attracts success effortlessly. It's about cultivating unwavering belief in yourself, maintaining clarity of vision, managing your emotions deliberately, speaking powerfully, and aligning your energy consistently. When your inner world is powerful, the outer world has no choice but to reflect that power back to you. It's not about forcing success into existence. It's about tuning yourself to the frequency where success already exists. Once you do that, what once seemed impossible starts becoming inevitable. Success doesn't come to those who simply wish for it. It comes to those who act in harmony with their vision. Thinking positively, visualizing, and aligning your energy are powerful, but without action, they're incomplete. Action is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between imagination and reality. The universe responds to movement. Once you've aligned your inner world, the next step is to translate that energy into bold, consistent, and inspired action. This is where dreams begin to solidify into tangible outcomes. Most people get stuck at the stage of dreaming. They create grand visions. They talk about their plans. They feel excited about what's possible. But when it comes time to act, fear, procrastination, and doubt take over. They wait for the right time, for perfect clarity, or for external approval before taking the first step. That hesitation is where opportunities fade. The law of attraction isn't passive. It's not about sitting in a room hoping things will fall into place. It's about stepping into alignment and then moving forward in ways that match the frequency you've set. When your thoughts and emotions are in tune, action becomes the natural extension of that alignment. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. You can visualize the tree. You can believe in its growth, but if you never water it, give it sunlight, or care for it, nothing happens. Action is the watering and nurturing of your vision. Every small step you take sends a signal to the universe that you are serious. It shows commitment. It demonstrates faith. It sets things in motion. Even the smallest consistent actions have the power to create massive ripple effects over time. There's a difference between forced action and inspired action. Forced action comes from a place of desperation, fear, or obligation. It feels heavy, draining, and often leads to burnout. Inspired action, on the other hand, feels aligned, natural, and often exciting. It's not always easy, but it carries a sense of flow. When you're aligned internally, inspired ideas come to you like sparks. You'll get nudges to call someone, start something, share an idea, learn a new skill, or take a risk. These nudges may seem small at first, but they often lead to life-changing opportunities. The key is to listen and act when they come. Many people ignore these intuitive prompts. They think, I'll do it later, or that probably won't work. But those sparks are often the universe's way of guiding you toward your vision. The moment you take inspired action on those nudges, doors start opening that you didn't even know existed. You meet the right people at the right time. Resources appear. Synchronicities unfold. From the outside, it might look like luck, but it's not. It's the result of being in motion. Action also builds momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces you can harness. When you start moving, even in small ways, your energy shifts. What seemed difficult at first becomes easier. Opportunities that were invisible suddenly come into view. It's like pushing a car from a standstill. It takes a lot of effort to get it moving at first, but once it's rolling, it becomes easier to keep it going. The same principle applies to your goals. The hardest part is often the first step, but once you take it, each subsequent step becomes less intimidating. One of the greatest traps people fall into is overthinking. They want to plan every step, foresee every outcome, and eliminate all uncertainty before acting. But that's not how success works. Clarity grows through movement. The path reveals itself as you walk it. If you wait until you know everything, you'll never move. The most successful people aren't those who had all the answers from the start. They're the ones who took action despite not knowing everything. They adjusted along the way, learned from failures, and kept moving forward. Failure is another area where many stop. They take action, face a setback, and interpret it as a sign to quit. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every setback is feedback. It's the universe showing you where adjustments need to be made. Instead of seeing failure as proof you're not meant to succeed, see it as confirmation that you're in the arena, that you're playing the game. The more you act, the more feedback you receive, and the faster you grow. There's also a rhythm to inspired action. It's not about working non-stop without rest. It's about moving when your energy is aligned and resting when you need to recharge. Forced hustle leads to burnout. Aligned action leads to sustainable progress. Learn to trust the timing of your instincts. When you feel that inner nudge to move, act decisively. When it's time to pause, reflect, and regain strength, honor that too. This balance allows you to maintain momentum without exhausting yourself. Taking action also means stepping out of your comfort zone repeatedly. Growth doesn't happen in the safe, predictable spaces of life. It happens when you take risks, when you put yourself in situations that stretch you. The moment you act beyond your comfort zone, your identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who merely dreams and start seeing yourself as someone who creates. That identity shift is powerful. It builds self-trust. Every time you follow through on an action you were afraid of, you send a message to your subconscious. I can rely on myself. That trust compounds over time, making future actions easier. Another important aspect of inspired action is consistency. Big, dramatic actions are great, but real transformation comes from the daily habits you commit to. Success is often hidden in the small, repetitive actions you take every single day. Reading a few pages of a book, practicing your craft for an hour, sending a message to a potential client, posting content, making one more call. These actions may seem insignificant individually, but over time, they compound into massive results. Consistency signals to the universe that you're serious. Sporadic bursts of effort followed by long periods of inaction send mixed signals. Consistent action keeps the energy flowing. Fear of judgment is another major barrier to action. Many people hold back because they're afraid of what others will think. They worry about failing publicly, being misunderstood, or being criticized. But those opinions don't build your future. Your actions do. The people who achieve great things are not those who never face judgment. They're the ones who act despite it. They understand that others' opinions don't pay their bills, fulfill their dreams, or define their worth. The moment you stop letting external judgment control you, you become unstoppable. Taking action also requires faith. You won't always see immediate results. Sometimes you'll take steps that seem to go nowhere at first, but those steps are never wasted. Every action plants a seed, even if you don't see the sprout yet. The key is to keep moving, keep watering, keep believing, and keep acting. Eventually, the results will catch up to your efforts. It's also vital to celebrate progress along the way. Many people get so focused on the end goal that they overlook the small wins that happen daily. Celebrating progress keeps your energy high and reinforces the behavior you want to continue. Acknowledge every action you take, no matter how small. Each step forward is evidence that you're aligning your outer world with your inner vision. There will be days when motivation is low, when doubts creep in, and when the path ahead feels unclear. On those days, discipline and commitment carry you forward. Inspiration is wonderful, but it's not always present. That's why habits and systems matter. They keep you moving even when the emotional highs fade. If you build your life around waiting for motivation, you'll only act in bursts. But if you build habits that support your vision, you'll create steady progress no matter how you feel. The magic happens when you combine inner alignment with inspired action. You're no longer forcing results out of fear or scarcity. You're creating from a place of clarity and power. Each step you take becomes infused with intention. You move with purpose, and that purpose attracts opportunities faster than you can imagine. Taking inspired action is ultimately about trust. Trusting your vision, trusting your instincts, trusting the process, and trusting yourself. When you act with faith, even in uncertainty, you signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. And the universe responds by meeting you halfway. It doesn't always happen instantly, but it happens consistently for those who stay in motion. Success isn't attracted by idle thoughts or empty intentions. It's attracted by aligned energy expressed through decisive action. When you show up day after day, following the intuitive nudges, taking bold steps, learning from setbacks, and refusing to quit, success has no choice but to find you. Action is the evidence of belief. The more you act, the more the world rearranges itself to support you. What was once just a vision in your mind becomes a reality in your life. Not by waiting, but by moving. Gratitude and faith are the twin forces that elevate your ability to attract success from a hopeful wish to an unshakable reality. When you live in a state of genuine appreciation for what you already have and unwavering belief in what's on its way, your entire vibration changes. You stop chasing success from a place of lack and start drawing it toward you with magnetic certainty. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on abundance even when life isn't ideal, and trusting that your vision is already on its way, even when the evidence hasn't shown up yet. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotional states you can cultivate because it immediately shifts your perspective. When you focus on what's missing, you broadcast lack. When you focus on what's present and valuable, you broadcast abundance. This shift is not just emotional, it's energetic. Gratitude puts you on the frequency of receiving. It opens you up to notice opportunities that you would otherwise overlook. It aligns your internal world with abundance, which in turn attracts more of it into your external world. Many people make the mistake of thinking they'll feel grateful once they get what they want. They say things like, "I'll be grateful when I have the job. I'll be grateful when I have the money. I'll be grateful when I succeed," but that's backwards. You don't wait for the results to feel gratitude, you use gratitude to bring the results. Gratitude is the key that unlocks doors before they appear. It's the signal that says, "I already have everything I need to create more." When you genuinely appreciate your current situation, no matter how small the blessings may seem, you multiply their power. Start by acknowledging the simple things: the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the people who support you, the lessons you've learned, the challenges that made you stronger. No blessing is too small to recognize. When you do this consistently, your mind begins to rewire itself. Instead of defaulting to complaints and scarcity, it starts to focus on possibilities and wealth. You become a person who sees opportunities instead of obstacles, and that shift alone can change the course of your life. Faith works hand in hand with gratitude. Faith is the deep, unshakable knowing that what you desire is already on its way. Even if you can't see it yet, it's holding the vision steady when the physical evidence is still invisible. Faith doesn't require everything to make sense. It requires you to believe beyond what you can see, to trust in the unseen forces that are aligning things behind the scenes. This level of trust is what separates those who attract success from those who give up too early. Most people start strong with their goals. They visualize, they act, they feel good for a while. But when results don't show up immediately, doubt creeps in. They begin to question the process. They start to look for signs that it's working, and if they don't see them quickly enough, they lose faith. But the universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It responds to the consistency of your belief, not the urgency of your impatience. The moment you waver, the energy shifts. The seed you planted starts to wither before it breaks through the soil. Faith means staying the course even when nothing seems to be happening. Think of a farmer planting seeds. Once the seeds are in the ground, the farmer doesn't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. They trust that the process is working beneath the surface. They water the soil, give it sunlight, and wait with patience. Faith is doing the work and holding the belief even when you can't see the sprouts yet. If you give up too early, you'll never see the harvest. Faith also requires emotional discipline. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, but the real test comes when challenges hit. Those who maintain their belief in the midst of difficulties create unbreakable momentum. They understand that obstacles are not signs of failure, they're part of the journey. Every great success story has moments where nothing seemed to be working, but faith kept the vision alive until reality caught up. Gratitude and faith together create a powerful feedback loop. Gratitude amplifies your faith, and faith deepens your gratitude. When you're grateful for what's already present, you reinforce your belief that good things are always flowing toward you. When you hold faith in future outcomes, you find more reasons to be grateful in the present. This loop raises your emotional and energetic state to a level where attracting success becomes natural. Another reason gratitude is so powerful is that it disarms fear. Fear thrives in scarcity. It grows when you focus on what's missing, what could go wrong, and what you lack. Gratitude starves fear by focusing on what's already right. It turns your attention to abundance, which neutralizes the energy of worry and doubt. When your mind is filled with appreciation, there's less room for fear to take root. Faith, on the other hand, neutralizes impatience and insecurity. When you know something is on its way, you don't keep checking the clock anxiously. You relax into the process. That calm trust creates a powerful presence that attracts people and opportunities. Think about it: when someone is desperate, their energy pushes others away. But when someone has quiet confidence and unwavering belief, others are naturally drawn to them. That's the power of faith in action. Practicing gratitude and faith consistently is what keeps your energy stable. The world is unpredictable. Challenges will arise. Circumstances will shift. If your emotional state is tied only to external results, you'll be on a constant roller coaster. But if your gratitude and faith are internal, rooted deeply, you'll remain steady regardless of what's happening outside. That steadiness is what allows success to flow consistently rather than sporadically. This practice is not about denying reality. If you face setbacks, you don't have to pretend they're not happening. Instead, acknowledge them, learn from them, and still find something to be grateful for in the situation. There's always something valuable. Even in the hardest moments, a lesson, a new perspective, an opportunity to grow stronger. When you can find gratitude in adversity, you demonstrate true mastery of your emotional state. Faith also grows stronger through action. It's one thing to say you believe, it's another to act as if you already have what you desire. When you take steps with the confidence that your vision is real, you reinforce your belief. The way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the conversations you have, all of them start to reflect your faith. It becomes less about hoping something will happen and more about knowing it's already in motion. It's also important to avoid the trap of conditional gratitude. Many people only feel grateful when things go exactly as planned. But life rarely follows a straight path. Unexpected detours often lead to better destinations than the original plan. When you practice unconditional gratitude, appreciating both the highs and the lows, you maintain your power regardless of circumstances. Another aspect of this is thanking in advance. When you express gratitude for what hasn't yet shown up, you accelerate its arrival. Saying, "Thank you for the opportunities, success, and growth that are on their way signals that you already believe they belong to you." It's like emotionally placing an order with the universe and knowing it will be delivered. Faith also requires letting go of the need to control every detail. Many people think they have to figure out every step of the journey themselves. But faith allows you to focus on your vision while trusting that the how will unfold. Your job is to stay in alignment, take inspired action, and hold the belief. The universe's job is to orchestrate the details. When you try to control everything, you create resistance. When you trust, you create flow. Gratitude can be practiced in many ways: journaling daily, mentally listing blessings each morning, expressing thanks to people around you, or simply pausing to feel appreciation in your heart. The method doesn't matter as much as the sincerity. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Faith can be strengthened through affirmations, visualization, reflection on past victories, and choosing belief over doubt in daily moments. Over time, these practices become part of your identity. When gratitude and faith become your default state, You become unstoppable. You radiate a calm, confident energy that draws success to you. People want to work with you, opportunities align, and challenges become stepping stones rather than barriers. You no longer chase outcomes desperately, you attract them with quiet power. This is the final layer of mastery in the process of attracting success. Gratitude keeps you rooted in abundance. Faith keeps you anchored in the unseen potential of your future. Together, they create a magnetic force that pulls your vision into reality. Even when the path isn't clear, even when the evidence hasn't shown up yet, you know it's coming. You live as if it's already here, and in time it is.